Oftentimes, at least for myself, my main focus is on the head of the watch, and, unless it's a factory bracelet, the strap can be a bit of an afterthought. I've been guilty of wearing both of my Grand Seikos on $10 or $15 straps from AliExpress. It's a bit strange when you think about it, isn't it? You pay all that money for the watch, and then you put it on a strap that costs a tiny fraction of what the watch did. Well, what if you didn't? Welcome to Addicted to Watches. Today, we won't be looking at a watch. Okay, we will, but really what we're talking about is the strap. And I know, a 10+ minute video is a long time to be talking about straps. But bear with me, these are worth hearing about. Today, we're going to answer the eternal question. Does the watch make the strap, or does the strap make the watch? These are the loopless sailcloth straps from Artem Straps. Before we get started though, I'd like to thank Artem Straps for reaching out. They have sponsored this video by sending in these straps for review. My channel is still very small, so I really appreciate their support. I don't have to send the straps back, but that won't be influencing my view of them. Before they sent them out, I confirmed with Artem that if I had any criticisms of the straps, I would include them in the video, and they agreed. So, stay tuned until the end to see what those are. Artem sent me 3 straps to show you today, a black with grey stitching, navy blue with white stitching, and black with black stitching. They also offer a khaki green option, but I felt the black and navy worked better with the watches that I have. Throughout the video, I'll be showing all of these straps on a few different watches, so you can get an idea of how they pair together. I've had these for a couple of weeks now, and have basically exclusively been wearing them during that time. Not just because I had to in order to get a feel for them either, but I really enjoyed the wearing experience that these straps provide. They're awesome on wrist. If I don't get it out of the way now, it will be a bit like an elephant in the room. So first up, let's talk about price. These are not cheap straps, but they're also not cheap straps, if you know what I mean. When you get them in hand, you can feel the quality that has gone into them. You're paying for that quality after all. The ones I have here today come from their range of loopless straps, which will set you back $133 per strap. However, that's just the strap. You need to then add a deployant buckle to complete the loopless system, which will be an additional $68 or $78 depending on whether you want the DLC black version or not. Finally, you have the option to add quick release spring bars for $13 more. If we take the configuration I have here, that would come to a total of $214 since I've got the quick release spring bars. That is enough to buy you a new watch if you're looking at something entry level like a Seiko or AliExpress watch. So, what does Artem do to justify the price? Let's take a look. A strap can completely change the look, feel and perception you have of a watch. The watch head itself is important of course, but the strap is what connects it to you and keeps it on your wrist. The wrong one can make you pass it by when choosing a watch to wear, but the right one can make you just as excited about the strap as you are about the watch itself. I think Artem know how to make the right one, and are really onto something here. If you asked me, I'd say these straps have 2 main selling points. The first is the overall quality, and the fact that good sailcloth straps in particular can be hard to find. The second is that loopless system that I mentioned briefly before. We'll come back to that, but first let's talk about the quality. On their website, Artem talk about how they came to the decision to make their own straps after failing in their search for a good quality sailcloth strap. Well, they definitely achieved their goal. Though not actual sailcloth material, which they detailed the reasons for on their website, the straps are constructed from a synthetic upper and leather underside. The straps are firm and strong, but still flexible enough to be very comfortable. At the beginning of each strap, they're padded before tapering to become quite thin. That leather underside has also been coated with a layer of natural rubber, making them resistant enough to be worn in water. If that wasn't enough, on the front side there is also a silicone piece to connect the strap holes and reduce wear, increasing the longevity of the straps. The straps that came with my Seiko S&K 807 had something similar, which I really didn't like at all. But I've since realized that that's because of the quality of construction on that strap, That was the reason I didn't like it. On this strap, it's been done very well and importantly, feels really good. Before handling these straps, the best one I probably owned was this brown leather one I got years ago and is branded ZRC. I paid about 75 Australian dollars at the time and it's seen a lot of use. It is a very nice strap in its own right, but these ones from Artem are a big step up in quality. The other selling point of these straps specifically is the loopless system, which uses their deployant clasp. It's a clasp that creates a really neat and tidy profile on wrist, while at the same time reducing wear on the strap, since you won't be tugging on it and threading it through a buckle every time you put it on the watch. This, combined with that silicone reinforcement over the holes, means that the strap will probably last longer than me. On that same note, I'd probably recommend upgrading to the quick release spring bars, so that you're not squeezing a spring bar removal tool in there every time you want to change the strap. The way that the clasp works is that you thread the long end through and it gets held in place like this, with the pin sticking through the strap hole. Because of this setup and the way the clasp folds, it feels just like closing a bracelet clasp and is very natural. Also, because of the way it folds, the long end of the strap is tucked away on the inside rather than the outside like conventional buckles. Now, the clasp itself is very well done. It's all milled, nothing folded or pressed here. At the same time, there are no sharp edges, so even the underside and internal parts of the clasp have been given attention. You get a mix of polished and brushed finishing here on the outer portion of the clasp, as well as the brand logo engraved. The quality is not just surface level though. In operation, the clasp feels solid, isn't too tight or too loose, and closes with a very satisfying and solid click. It's been a glowing review so far, and deservingly I think, but I will talk about a few negatives with the straps, and some things I'd like to see from the brand. I'll start with the obvious, the price. They're more than I generally look at spending on straps. Of course, I'm in a very lucky position here with this channel where now I don't have to, but it's a decent chunk of change, and something you'd have to think twice about rather than impulse buying. I also thought their pricing structure could be a little bit more straightforward. When you're browsing the range, you see that $133 price. It's only after you click onto the product page that you see the clasp will have to be purchased separately, as well as quick release spring bars if you want those too. I'll admit, when I first had a quick look at the website while doing other things, I didn't pick up on this for quite a while, and suspect others might be in the same boat too. That said, if you don't need the loopless clasp, they do also offer more standard styled straps, starting at just $85. Another thing to note is that while on their website, they have an instructional video demonstrating how to install the strap into the clasp. Well, they make it look easy. I don't know if it's because the strap in the video has been handled and worn, so it's a bit softer, but I feel like I had to push pretty hard to get the sides of the strap tucked under those two bits of the clasp that hang over it. It felt like I was almost going to damage the side of the strap because it was getting caught a little, but thankfully the strap survived installation and shows no signs of wear. I guess that should show how good quality they are. Strong straps. I feel like complaining about the packaging is a bit of a double-edged sword here. On one hand, if I was spending upwards of $200 on a watch strap, I'd like to have a fairly nice unboxing experience. But on the other hand, I'd also like to see that $200 went into the strap itself and not some over-the-top packaging. What these straps were delivered in was a silver bag containing this cardboard packaging, inside which were the straps. I did say that I didn't want the packaging to be over the top, but at least having the two sections of the strap securely held in place somehow, rather than just loose in the cardboard, is reasonable to want, I think. I can at least appreciate the sustainable element of the cardboard packaging, so points for that. The last thing I was going to talk about was variety and styles. When Artem sent me these straps, they offered 3 different colours, black, blue and green in sailcloth straps. What I was going to say is that though the 3 colours are versatile, I would have liked to see a dark grey option or a sandy khaki colour. The other thing I would have liked to see is an expansion from sailcloth to other strap designs or styles. Well, between receiving the watches and making this review, Artem have gone and preempted this criticism by releasing a new range of straps, including one in grey. They are what Artem call Hydroflex hybrid straps, and use a soft FKM rubber underside to increase comfort. That grey in particular looks pretty good to me. If you've made it this far into the video, you probably like the look of the straps, and really the only thing to decide is whether they justify the price tag. There are two things I'd say to consider to give yourself some perspective when looking at these straps. The first is that if you're buying an OEM strap from a brand like Tudor, Breitling, Omega, and many others, you'll be paying much more than what these Artem straps cost in most cases. The second is that a new strap can make your current watch feel like a new watch all over again, and save you the cost of buying a new one instead. Swapping out a bracelet or factory strap for one of these can really elevate the look of your watch and the feel of it when you're wearing it. Would I have bought one if the brand hadn't sent me these? Maybe not, but that's because I'm a bit of a tight ass. Do I think that they offer quality, function, and durability that lives up to the asking price? Yes. So, if you've got the budget for them, or you really want to treat yourself and your favorite watch, then they're definitely worth some serious consideration. What do you think about Artem straps? Do you have any in your watch box? Would you spend the cost of a new watch on just a strap? Do they justify the asking price? Are you rocking your luxury watch on a bargain bin strap instead, like I was? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.